Hey everyone, this is Andrew at Plainview Farm. So I got the stump in the backyard burned out, and I borrowed my stepdad's 1026R little John Deere tractor because it's easier to maneuver around in the backyard than the M Farmall is. So I was able to put a small box blade on the back of it and work around in the backyard, try to shave down the areas again where the roots of those old walnut trees had pushed the dirt up and created these large mounds. Then once I got that done, I stretched the electric fence wire back up, that way I could locate my gate posts. Now these gate posts are going to be just a little bit different than what you might normally see, and I'll show you what I mean here in just a moment. So I got the post holes located and dug for those gate posts, and now I'm ready to get those gate posts set in place. So what I did was I again laid out tape measure here on the ground. These posts are going to be set 12 feet apart. We're going to have an 8-foot wide gate and a 4-foot wide just kind of walk through gate. The 8-foot gate will give us the extra space we need in order to get any tractor, whatever we need, in and out of the garden area here. But it will also, give us that. We'll also have that 4-foot space that we can kind of walk in and out of without having to open a large gate. I'm not using round posts like I did on our corners or our floating braces for these gate posts. I'm actually using 6x6s, and these are 12 foot long. Now these two post holes here, I didn't run into the trouble that I ran into with our post on the far end, the south side of the garden over there, where we hit a large rock, at 18 inches or so. These two were more like the post hole on the opposite end, the north end of the garden up there. I was able to get, between 30 and 36 inches roughly before I ran into a hard pan. And again, for what I'm doing here, the tension that's going to be on this fence, 30 to 36 inches, in that range is plenty. So we do have a little bit of wind here today. I'm sorry if that's blowing into the microphone, but this wind is blowing this electric fence string that I'm using to guide where I set my posts. It's blowing it around, so I'm going to try to put something on it to hold it still. And I'll go and check and kind of get a good line of sight and make sure that it looks straight. It looks pretty straight to me. May need to come back toward the garden just a touch, but I think that'll do. Yeah. Yeah, it's not on. It's not, here, don't pick it up, okay? It's not on. All right, I've at least got them sitting where they belongish. All right, we'll get this first one plumb and kind of just roughly in place. Can you go over there and grab me a big rock over by the well house? Please? Be careful. Oh no! It didn't get your toe, did it? Just got your hands dirty? Yeah. Okay, can you bring it over here and be careful? You don't have to run with it, just... I don't think kicking it's gonna work. Wait. Okay, that's good. Thank you, babe. So, there's just about any number of ways that you can do a lot of jobs, and this one is no different. Whenever I set gate posts and I'm trying to get them spaced a certain distance apart, I'll set the first one, get it set exactly where I want it, and then set the second one off of that. So this is going to be our, I don't know, what do you call it, your witness post, or anyway, this is where we're going to set the other post, okay? This will be our guide to make sure we get the other one in proper place for our gates.
What is that thing?
This is a level.
Ooh, what does
It helps you make sure stuff is straight. See, look, right here. Okay, see that bubble?
Yeah.
If the bubble is in between the lines, it's straight. It means it's straight up and down.
Yeah.
Keep going. So one of the things I mentioned in the last video was that whenever you are going to be pulling against a post, or at least I think I did, you actually want to tilt the post back in the opposite direction against the pull. Okay, so as you pull your wire tight, you know, it'll put pressure against that post and straighten it up. Now, with us having a gate here, you know, that changes the equation somewhat. You may not want as much of a lean in it. This side, because we, you know, don't have our post in as deep on this south end, we're going to put the short gate on this side and the long gate on the other side. Again, you know, to try to keep from putting too much tension on that post over there that's not as deep into the ground. Now, obviously, you know, we do want it to be plumb this direction, okay? Back, you know, what would that be? Perpendicular to the fence. So, you may wonder, why don't I dump a bag of concrete in and call it good? I'm not opposed to doing that. In fact, I've done that, you know, several times before, but it's not necessary on this. Actually, if I had, and it was pointed out by a viewer on the last video, if I had a bag of concrete on that post down there that's not as deep, I would have dumped it in there just simply to make it a little more rigid. But being as deep as this is, I've got plenty of rocks here to drop in around it to help firm it up. So I'm not that worried about this post, you know, being strong and staying in place. All right, so now that the first post is in place, like I said, we are going to use it to get our second post in line, and I will show you how I'm going to do that right now. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is mark the height of my post, which we will mark it at, I don't know, if I can get the tape to not fly around on me. We'll mark it at 7.5 feet, 90 inches. And I'll find my level mark here. Then I'm going to nail this 2x4, or 2x4 scrap, right below my mark. So that my header, or whatever you want to call it, will have a place to rest. There. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is basically like whenever you're setting posts for a building, I'm going to set supports in place. Actually, these are going to be almost like kickstands, just to kind of keep it halfway where I want it. That's about it. All right, that's pretty goodish right there. I'm going to do the same thing out this direction. Possibly could have put that one, you know, a little bit flatter, but it's all right. So actually I'm going to change this board on the front because it's interfering with my line down here at the bottom. All right, move this back at the bottom just a little bit. Which I'm probably trying a little bit too hard to get this plumb right now, honestly. All right, that'll do for now. Okay, so I've got my other post over here in position-ish. I marked out my header board and, you know, put kind of a angled cut at the end to kind of give it a little bit of a style. Sorry if the wind's blowing really bad there. But I cut it, you know, at an angle on the end to give it a little bit of style. Measured out the distance between the posts at the bottom, got everything set where I wanted. Transferred my marks of the inside of the post onto this board and then measured out from that inside mark out to my angle cut. And now I'm going to set at least this first header in place. I've got the other one marked already. I used the first one as a pattern, laid this one on top of it, and marked where it needs to be cut as well. The crown is up on this. Again, you know, structurally we want this to be sound. We don't want it to bow over time, which it's not bearing any weight. So, I mean, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's not a header. I don't know if you have to call it something else. Anyway, but we're putting this here mainly to make the backyard look nice. If it wasn't a garden gate entrance, I wouldn't be doing this. You know, anywhere else on the farm, I mean, you know, my idea of fence posts and corner posts and gate posts is simple, easy, and cheap. So anyway, I've got screws started in each of the ends. Those are those structural screws. Got them started in each end. I have that board at the top that I nailed up earlier. Now I've got this header board resting on top of it, and I'm going to lift it up into place, scoot the level out across this board to make sure that our header is level, and run the screw into both of these posts. And then once I do that, we'll get this bottom post situated where we want it to be, okay, and go ahead and get it, you know, get the ground packed in around it, get it set. So hopefully I don't maim or injure myself here. Get the level on there. Get our board in position. Looks like we need to drop a hair, maybe a hair more. All right, and we are level. Okay. I'm going to run the screw in on the other side. I'll put the level back on it over here. Again, just to make sure it's where we want it to be. All right, it looks like I've done something wrong. That post is plumb, or at least where we want it to be. So it would appear that I've mismeasured my header board, but I mismeasured it wrong. So I'll tell you what I do. I'm really bad about looking at the numbers on the tape upside down. I use my left hand on the tape measure, and so this happens from time to time. But the good news is, again, I didn't cut it short. It's long. So I'm gonna go ahead and run the screw in, and we'll adjust later. We'll trim off that extra piece at the end. I don't know. Nope, I know what I did. I didn't subtract for the post. Whenever I transferred my measurement to my header board, I did not subtract for the post. You gotta subtract for the post if you want it to come out right. Oh well. As I said before, it's better to be cut too long than too short. There. That's better. All right, so this post is now plumb, right where I want it, between the braces and then the header board, or at least the front header board on up there. This post is right where I want it to be, and actually if I try to move it, it really doesn't move very much at all. Got it fairly secure. So now I just need to get it set, and then we'll put the board on the opposite side and cut the tops off of our post where it looks halfway right. There we go. That'll work. Dirt will settle. We'll fix it up after that, I guess. I guess I can take these off. Now we're just going to repeat the process on this side. All right, so I've also cut some short blocks to kind of help hold everything together inside here. One of these boards bows out, so in order to pull everything tight, I cut these blocks. Now all that's left is to mark the tops of the post, trim them off, and then I think we'll be good. Well, here it is. Our gate posts are set. We have our header boards up above. Now I'm ready to pull wire and hang gates. I'll pull the wire first, and I'm going to build some wooden gates to go in this opening here, and I've also got some other areas in the yard that I'm going to build some wooden gates as well. This is one of those projects that has taken me longer than I had planned on it taking. It's been one of those things that it's been hard to find the time to actually get out here and do anything. The weather's been nice, but timing not so much. But hopefully that changes and I'm able to get this wrapped up pretty soon. We should have some videos on the way of us doing some garden prep work, doing some planting, some seed planting, that kind of stuff, in order to prepare for this year's garden. So, as always, I appreciate you watching. If you found this video to be useful, or at the very least enjoyable, I hope you would do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you have not yet, please subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it very much. As I said, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. It's windy.